Meow. Today was a terrible day that somehow only managed to get worse as time went on. And that's okay. Some days are like that. You know, they start off bad and then they get worse and worse and worse. That was today. Main reasons were I hate myself. I hate being alive. And also noise. It's just way too damn loud. Where I live, I can't stand it. It's like I wake up and I immediately feel like my brain is gonna explode because there's just an unending, unending noise, you know? I'm not alone. There's plenty of people like me who don't really particularly like living in a noisy environment. um, I don't want to complain because nothing is going to change. Realistically, I'm not saying it's not possible for things to change. I'm saying realistically, being honest with myself, nothing will change. I'm going to die right here where I am, and my life will only get worse. There is no, there's no turning point. It's not gonna get better. I started playing that stupid egg game again. Recently, and oh boy. I know deep down I don't like it because I don't like mobile games as a rule. I just don't. I don't like being on my phone. I don't like being tracked. Yeah. But also, because I've played a lot of games, I don't particularly find the free to play, pay to win, gotcha gambling game loop rewarding. I don't find it rewarding or inspiring or motivating. It definitely works in the sense that it's effective. Even I'm susceptible to it, to that temporary rush, the excitement, anticipation. But that happens intermittently, spread out between a lot of chores, busy work, frustration, FOMO, time wasting, and just dealing with the absurdities. But you know, I don't want to rob anyone else of their joy or their freedom to have fun and spend their time as they wish. But I don't want to allow myself to go down this rabbit hole. And I guess, even though I know that, I guess I still needed a reminder because it's just that gripping, right? When your life sucks and you actively want to end it, it's like sometimes you'll settle for the bare minimum. I feel like gotcha game addiction is the bare minimum. It's like, I need to feel something, so at least this lets me feel something. But I won't let myself go down that road again. And here's why. I was they've had some, I don't know, we could say design choices, okay, with their monetization scheme and other updates to the game. And, you know, immediately I was, I don't know, I'm an old woman, so I feel like immediately I knew the whole game. I knew it was all bullshit. I'm like, okay. But what surprised me is the prices, right? So you get these eggs and you can hatch your eggs, right? You get some for free, but the good ones are very, very pretty rare. You don't get them often. Maybe you get them a little bit more in the beginning and less often as you go through. And of course, you could buy them in the cash shop. You could buy them in the in-game cash shop straight from your mobile device. But the price, oh my god. I don't play other gacha games, but I've heard that from other players complaining that the pricing is way steeper than something like Genshin Impact, which, is a pretty big game with lots of developers and artists and all those, fancy people working on it. And then you have this small little game with a small set of developers and, a co-founder kind of duo or whatever. And they're just charging exorbitant fees. Maybe because their business model, they don't expect anyone to buy it. I don't care about that. Like, people can spend their money how they want to. But I knew that it was a sign that it wasn't for me. And then, yeah, I was introduced to their community for like various reasons. And I discovered something I should have expected. It's really funny. Basically, they have an entire Discord server where the players that play their game just like roast and shit on the game and the devs 24/7. It's ongoing, it's nonstop. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm just saying that, wow. And they get backlash for choices they make, or updates they make or don't make, changes they make or don't make. But what's interesting to me is also this like it's there's this mix of like valid, reasonable criticism and feedback, but there's an abundance of like entitlement and there's this sentiment that the players feel like, because I played your game, because I put money into this, you listen to me and I'm your boss and this is how the game should be run. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of feeling those sentiments too, but I guess I'm more used to it with like bigger game titles from really big studios. Like I can understand being disappointed in, EA, for example. They have too much money and too many resources, too much ability to be treating players badly, and yet they do. But on the flip side, I think, I don't know. And the whole thing made me think. I felt some sort of kinship in a weird way because the devs and the artists basically have resorted to abandoning the community because of they haven't said why. It started with like bannings and attempts to moderate, and then later it just the players portray it as if they ran away from their community and now they're just ignoring the community. But I look at the situation and I think it's fucking warranted, okay? You make a game, you design it because you want to, whatever, with your own IP. You get all these strangers telling you what you have to change and what you have to do, and It's too much. It's just too much. Like, I won't go into all of the details because, you know, you could just copy paste this kind of drama. It happens in a lot of communities. But sometimes it's warranted and other times it's not. And this time, I think it's warranted, but I also, like, how do I say this? Like, so they, like, banned all the mods and started fresh. And there were members of the community who were upset and they started to think, they're like, you can't do that. You can't just ban all of your mods. You know, you guys are so unprofessional. It's just like, yes, they can. They can do whatever they want. It's their game. I don't know. The futility of it all made me laugh. And I drew some parallels, obviously, nowhere near to the same extent as this shit that I'm doing here, by the way. But I felt some parallels where lately I've been wanting to run away from my own thing because of over communication, I think. Over communication and ownership. I think it's a little different too when maybe you're like if it's a story or an IP, you might feel passionate about it, but you might just like be okay with people giving their input and suggestions even if you don't take it all. But I think it's a little different when you're the center of your own content. So a lot of comments about me start to feel like they feel more personal than they really are. Or maybe they are meant to be personal, but either way, they're irrelevant. Anyway, I was late because of technical difficulties. But no one should be here anymore. I'm not streaming. I'm not streaming anymore. You guys can all stop watching if any of you are still here. The stream is only for me. I don't know for how long. Maybe forever. I don't know. It might take time for me to work up the courage to talk to people again, but I don't see that happening. I think I'd sooner kill myself than that happen, but I'm not gonna hurt myself for anything. I'm just saying, my brain is already too busy. I don't want to listen to anything anyone has to say at all. I'm not interested. Wow. So, with that said, bye. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to one kitty in the world. You're watching Love Talk with Mrs. Moonson. This is a daily talk show where a kitten who's smitten chats about love, life, and anime, not always in that order. Today is Moe Manga Menhera Monday, but instead of a manga, I have something like a manhwa, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll explain in a little bit. And then, yeah, and then I have other things, so I'll get to that when I get to that. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Today's manhwa, I have no idea what the title of it is. In fact, I think it might just be a webtoon. But I was browsing some Korean forums, by the way. And there's no translation. So maybe someone somewhere will find a translation or an original source. I feel like the main character feels familiar. I don't know why. But I stole some pictures for you guys so I could give you by you guys, I mean for myself, because there's nobody watching. I stole some pictures for myself so I could remind myself of the absurdity that this was. So you got this guy. And he's around a dumpster. He's in a dumpster, maybe living in there. I don't know. He hears some noise, and there's a snake. It's like a weird snake with a weird mouth thing. So then, what does he do? Of course, he puts it in his mouth and eats it. I don't know. Immediately, I'm just like, okay, where is this going? Okay, I left the graphic parts out, but yes, he does. He does bite off the head of this strange-looking snake, which is really funny. And then he finds this duffel bag that the snake was going after, by the way. And what could be in the duffel bag that the snake wanted? A baby! None other than a baby. So he finds an abandoned baby in a duffel bag in the trash where I think he lives. And this thing is so funny. I don't know what's going on because I don't understand, like I don't speak Korean. I can't translate it, but I use context clues. So he takes the baby to a bar. I guess this is a friend of his, maybe. And he's like, "Look, I need your help. I got kind of a situation on my hands." And she does not seem impressed, not one bit. But she allows him and the baby to hide out behind the bar because apparently this is like a weird, like I don't even know what genre this is, but it's sort of like weird sci-fi dystopian or something. So she has like a barcode on herself, and then there's a robot that comes in to scan her and question her. And I'm like, oh my god, this is the future, right? Right? Oh, I get it. So he's hiding from ICE. That's what it is. The robot is employed by ICE probably. And him and the baby are gonna get deported, so they're hiding. And I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what this whole thing is, but part of the reason I was late to setting up stream is because I was on the toilet reading this. It gave me a tickle. Anyway. Okay. No question of the day because I don't want to. But I have some inherent memes. This one is kind of strange. I don't know. So, when your brain knows they love you, but your heart doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anybody loves me. I don't think one single person on this planet loves me. I think there's people that say they do or whatever, or think that they do, but they don't. They don't. They absolutely don't. There's just no way. So I can't even. When I saved this, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I don't know. I can't relate to this, but I just put it in there because I was too lazy to find new ones. And then me, when I'm a girl failure who can't do anything right, so incompetent, I don't know how I'm alive. This one is actually relatable. I'm super incompetent. Wow. So when I was starting stream, VTube Studio was like lagging intermittently, like hanging up. I almost started crying. Over that. I ended up just restarting my computer twice, but yeah, it didn't work the first time, but man. Also, I lived life in a stupid way. That's why I can't play these addicting gacha games, cuz I wasted too much time already. I don't have any more time to give to that. lastly, I'm gonna leave with a quote, but it's not like my usual quotes because I was in a rush. I didn't have time. So this is instead an excerpt, you could say, from a book I'm reading currently. The book is called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Yes, the author who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. So I will read this out loud now. Strange as it seems, I submit that it was her absolute right to do this. Oh, okay, context. She had a book signing for Eat, Pray, Love, and a woman came up to her crying, sobbing, thanking her, saying, "Your book saved me from my abusive marriage. I wouldn't have had the courage to leave if you didn't leave your abusive, violent ex and write about it." And that episode of a violent, abusive ex appears nowhere in the book. So the author could be rightfully perplexed. Okay, that's the context. Anyway, strange as it seems, I submit that it was her absolute right to do this. I submit that this woman has the God-given right to misread my book however she wants to misread it. Once my book entered her hands, after all, everything about it belonged to her and never again to me. Recognizing this reality, that the reaction doesn't belong to you, is the only sane way to create. If people enjoy what you've created, terrific. If people ignore what you've created, too bad. If people misunderstand what you've created, don't sweat it. And what if people absolutely hate what you've created? What if people attack you with savage vitriol and insult your intelligence and malign your motives and drag your good name through the mud? Just smile sweetly and suggest, as politely as you possibly can, that they go make their own fucking art. Then stubbornly continue making yours. Yeah, wow. So, one thing I like about reading is sometimes, not every day, but sometimes I come across something that speaks to exactly what I'm going through. And it feels like it opens my eyes. This is something I'm still grappling with, and I don't know. I don't know how to deal with it, right? Because it feels like I don't belong to me anymore. It feels like, people who consume my stream have ideas. Not everyone, but some of them have ideas about what it's supposed to be or who I'm supposed to be or how I'm supposed to act, and they will say that they don't. They will say that they don't. And in their very next breath they will ask, "Why are you doing this?" or "Don't do that." Or it'll say, "You don't have to do this," or "You can do that." Like, giving me advice, getting permission, questioning my motives, whatever. And that's part of it, though. Like, yeah, doing anything in public, that's part of it. That just comes with it. You don't get to say whatever you want online and walk away unscathed. It just doesn't work like that. But that doesn't mean I enjoy it, though. Just because it's true doesn't mean I enjoy it. But yeah, I really like the part, as politely as you can, tell them to go make their own art. I feel that sincerely, you know? Um, Go do your own thing. Stop telling me what to do, please. You could do whatever you want, but please. No, you could do whatever you want. I don't care because nobody's watching this shit anyway. Goodbye. Moon, hang in there. I love you.